What's going on, everybody? I'm DJ Sixsmith. You're watching The Sit Down. Look what we got. Zeeko Zaki's here with us. Season 2 of FBI.
How are you, sir? Yes.
How are you, man?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good. We got season 2 coming out in a week, so we're all super excited, and it's just been a crazy year, and happy to kind of get back into the rhythm of airing and working and stuff like that.
So what has this chapter of your life been like? I mean, I'm sure it's been pretty wild, but how would you describe it?
I mean, it was just the fastest moving, most intense experience of my life, pressure-wise, work-wise, the hours, the response from the show. Everything's been so positive. Everything's been living in the best case scenario world. So it's just now kind of time to slow down and think about sustainability instead of just doing it, So it's like, it's definitely time we're stepping back and kind of bringing it down, and hopefully we can keep this going for a few years.
You were telling me off camera about trying to be present with all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
How difficult has that been, just given all the changes in your life?
Yeah, it's tough, I mean, my favorite thing about acting is that time between action and cut where nothing else matters, and it kind of helps the time go by, and you kind of live in these two different worlds. But what I was saying is, on this show, we get to meet so many awesome actors, and we by the end of a season, you have like hundreds of guest stars, and my favorite part this season is kind of being present in those moments and talking with these people and listening and hearing all these different stories, and it's been really cool.
You got a couple new people jumping on this year, right?
We do.
Who we got?
Alana de la Garza and John Boyd, who's different from John Voight, but we realized that
pretty quickly.
Yeah, and but it's been awesome. The world's getting bigger. We're getting to jump from different characters a little bit more, and kind of building this ensemble that hopefully will just make the world feel more real and also more exciting, fast-paced. We get to switch here and there. We don't have to account for all the time me and Maggie sit in traffic to get to these crime scenes. So it's an exciting pace this season so far.
That's awesome. So what have you learned about yourself as an actor? Because like a Dick Wolf thing is a huge deal. So there's a lot that comes with that.
Yeah.
What have you learned?
The biggest thing was just trying to be present again and so honest in these moments that you're not questioning yourself when you're walking off. Our turnaround's so fast. We're shooting 5, 6, 7 scenes a day, 5 days a week, and harping or putting too much mentally into it, you kind of get lost in it. And if you walk off feeling like you didn't do well or anything like that, that compounds and you never catch up. So this season for me is just slowing it down and just making sure that you're walking off going, there's no right or wrong. We had a moment, it was honest, it was real, and we're finding a lot of really good personal moments between me and Maggie, bringing Zeeko, bringing Missy sort of into it more, and having fun with it, and they're not kind of telling us to knock it down, so we're hoping that it kind of creates a new layer to the dynamic, which is hopefully more relatable and fun to watch.
Yeah, and I'm sure for you, season 1, like you're just getting used to everything. You want this thing to last also. Now it's here for season 2 and you're like, all right, I have a little more freedom, I have a bigger runway. This thing's not going away right off the bat.
Right. In this world, especially in the Dick Wolf world, it's, every day is a blessing, every day is lucky to kind of still be in the fight, but, it's the whole thing I learned from season 1 to season 2 was that the audience is on board with watching me grow, and the character kind of lined up with me personally in the sense of he just joined the FBI, I just joined the show, and getting to kind of fall back on those instincts or play those nerves out for real. People enjoyed it so far, and hopefully they're down to kind of stick with me through the journey because I need them.
Yeah, it's quite a journey, right?
Yeah.
I think one of the things I like about TV now is that we see new faces, you know? So for you as an Egyptian man, like that's an awesome thing to have.
Yeah.
And then also like the things we're talking about. So like in the first episode of this coming season, like there's major things happening. There's a bombing happening at a restaurant. So what is it like for you unpacking all of that, whether it's you as a leading man and also just the seriousness of the topics they're tackling?
Yeah, the topics, what I love about how current the topics are is it does instill this sort of sense of importance, and in the same way, responsibility to representing this bureau, to doing homage to the people that have experienced these things and all of that. It helps me, get up at 4 in the morning and make sure I stay on top of it work-wise, physically, and it's nice because, you know, one of the things I learned about the FBI is they never wake up and go, why am I doing this? You know,
they know their way.
There's no existential crisis in their line of work. It's, we are here to protect. And that's nice because I don't think that exists in every job. You know, there is those redundant things, and, you know, not everyone is lucky to be able to either do what they love or you know, along those lines. So the topics are so nice when they are more real, because you realize you do have a opportunity to show or tell that story through a different perspective. And then moving over to the leading man and the pressures with that, it's an absolute honor. I'm blessed. I can't believe that I get to be one of the first, you know, protagonist Arab Muslims. And it's great. The pressure there kind of keeps you going, and then, you know, like I said, staying present and just going and having fun, and you know, trying not to overdo anything, kind of just keeping it grounded and real. And yeah, it's people tell me I put more pressure than people are putting on myself, but
it's a big deal for you.
It's nice. I like the opportunity and the platform, and hopefully it all grows and positive stuff comes from all of that.
Totally. I mean, you're a kid growing up outside of Philly, like there weren't faces like this that you were seeing on your TV screen.
No, exactly. You know? Or jobs like this.
Yeah.
You know, the whole industry was always very far away, and I was always this outgoing class clown, you know, getting told to stop performing, you know, for the kids in the class, and then getting to kind of find this career and sort of just open up to the world, and hope that in the same way, growing outside of Philly in this predominantly white neighborhood, becoming, you know, the token Arab or all of them having a friend that's a Muslim, if we can kind of grow that umbrella, then I think then we'll do kind of, you know, what the purpose is of representing a different or a new religion or culture on TV.
I feel like you've probably thought a lot about identity then, because, you know, you've been one of the few, but you're just a dude. So, you know, like, what is it like just being able to move past that and just be like, hey, I'm Zeeko, you know, don't label me with this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah, well, you know, for me, I've never really worn labels. I've always kind of moved in a way that hopefully at the end of the day, you know, once you leave high school, it's all a business, and you got to just make a living, and you got to figure out how to get into whatever you want to get into and just start doing. And the whole typecasting and playing into the stereotypes got me into the door. And knowing that, you know, the industry will have to put a stop to typecasting eventually, because that's just kind of how it works. You know, you typecast until you can't typecast, and then the other doors start opening, and it's been a fun ride to be at the front of, but you know, we're just hoping that the balls that we're turning, and they are starting to turn, just keep going, and we can just grow it into something that, not stopping the conversation, because it's never going to stop about representation and things like that, but I know all the networks are trying really hard. I think when our show got picked up in 2018, there wasn't a single show led by the traditional white male lead. And we had women, we had people of color, men of color, and it's just exciting because we just want to give as many people as many things to watch as possible, especially with all these different, you know, Netflix and all this stuff. If we're excluding an entire sort of angle of telling stories, then why? So
it wouldn't be a good business move there.
Exactly. So it's nice to be part of the growth.
Definitely. So when you think about your career, what have been some of the highlights for you so far? What has really stuck out to you?
You know, for me, I guess as an actor, this job stuck out a lot because of the training that's coming along with it in the moment, the actors I get to work with in the moment, the way I kind of kept my head in this world before leads and recurring roles was I opened up an audition taping service with a buddy, Parker, in North Carolina, and getting to sort of day in and day out just be dealing with other actors, you kind of get to hone your craft in that way, from young, old, new, and you know, so moving forward and getting to just experience all of these touch and goes with these great people, great actors, has been awesome, because I'm just a fan of stories at the end. I love watching TV. I love hearing new stories and experiencing new things, and it's just been a whirlwind 2 years that have been really fueled sort of the tank for all of that. So it's been awesome.
So how did that whole thing start in North Carolina? Like, you guys were kind of middlemen in that sense, or were you kind of on the other side of the table with the auditions?
No, well, yeah, we were middlemen. I moved to Atlanta,
Okay.
From North Carolina, and my agent was like, it's not time to go to LA. And but I just wanted the whole world to be in the industry.
Sure.
So me and him got a camera and a computer and ended up growing to this 5-light setup.
Wow.
And we started getting recommendations from casting directors, and it just became awesome. And you think, are my instincts right with these scripts when I'm living in Atlanta with my buddy, and are our interpretations of what we think directors want, or this or that or this or that, and now kind of getting down the road and being like, oh, maybe my instincts were correct.
Yeah.
And
so what lined up and what didn't with what you thought?
It lined up more. I think actors, young actors, people in the auditioning world, like the amount of overthinking we do when it comes to a script, and then you get on set and it's just
doing it.
Just be there.
Yeah.
In today's world, smaller is realer, and everything's getting tighter. The shots are getting tighter, so it's coming down to this world of very subtle things trigger like the relationship or the on screen. So it's really nice to kind of realize that, and I think that's what kind of clicked for me, is that it's just, you read it, what do you get, and just go for it. And at the end of the day, like, you can only be you, so just do what you would do, I guess, and if it doesn't work, hopefully one day it will.
Right. So with the FBI world, what has fascinated you the most in terms of the technical nature of it, in terms of the people that do it? What do you like the most about it?
My favorite part is their success rate, and from the terms of these agents and how smart they are and how talented they are, and how they have this, it's like the top 5 on the top 5 list of best jobs because of, again, the non-existence of the existential crisis that is this kind of job that you get very passionate about. But people always ask me, they're like, when are you not going to solve a crime? And I'm like, well,
it's kind of part of the gig.
Like, these guys, when they knock on your door, so much has gone into it that, of course, you don't see on the show, because for the procedural aspect of it, we get a crime, pop, 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 and we're moving.
Keep it moving, yeah.
But, and hopefully there will be a way of sort of bringing this to the show but it's not as exciting because it is so much more slow paced, the checks and the bounces and everything, and how you actually get the green light to knock on a door. But when the FBI knocks on your door, it's over. Like,
it's a done deal.
It's a done deal.
You can't be running from that.
So it's cool. It's cool to, try your hardest to emulate these heroes, but it's also cool that they're actually doing like some pretty heroic stuff.
Yeah.
So it's an honor.
Definitely. Have you gotten used to seeing yourself on billboards and buses and all that stuff that comes with it?
I really haven't. I wear that I have, and I'm trying to downplay it, but it's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I get hit by it all the time. My family came up, and CBS and FBI were gracious enough to bless them with front row seats at the U.S. Open.
Oh, wow.
And I'm trying to play it cool.
Yeah.
And my mom and my sister are like, what is going on? And I'm like, I don't know. This isn't...
Just like, chill, go.
Like, just play it cool. But it's insane.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know. It's like, it's crazy. And the billboards are crazy. And, my favorite part about it is how much I do feel like a normal guy. I wasn't trained. I didn't go through Juilliard, and
Right.
I didn't come from a television family. And it just gives me hope. I know it gives my friends hope, and
Totally,
it gives people that are just out here with a dream, and literally then we translate it over to the representation side of things. And it's just like really this whole bundle of like, if you want it, go get it, and
just open the door.
Possible, and all that stuff that I think you meet people or you see their stories and you try to find that thing that's like, oh well, it happened because of that.
Right.
That's why it can't happen to me. But like, by all means, it can.
Totally. Who'd you see at the U.S. Open?
We saw Coco play the #1 lady in the world, and then we saw Rublev play Curios. Sister is a big fan.
Yeah.
I caught his sweaty wristband for her.
There you go.
She hasn't taken it off.
She's still got it. How insane is it to watch tennis up close like that?
It's crazy.
Yeah,
we come from a
obviously.
tennis family, but
Okay.
watching these powerhouses, I mean, you're like, and with all due respect to the talent that we saw, I don't know if we could have handled Nadal or Federer in front of you that close. It's surreal.
I've seen Nadal up close, and it was amazing.
He's
got like a nervous tick where he like picks his shorts, he picks his wedgie every time. And so seeing that up close, it's like,
yeah.
It's insane.
It's cool.
So how's your tennis game, man?
It's decent. I think I can hold my own against someone who hasn't played in a few years.
I like it.
Yeah,
Are you the best in your family?
By no means. My brother right now might take that. He's coaching down in Delaware at Del Castle.
Okay.
And my sister was full ride to UConn. She was the captain. But I think the little bro's going to take it right now.
I like it.
But yeah.
So he can play tennis, he can act, he can do it all.
Just a little bit.
Zeeko, thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for coming
Appreciate
in.
it.
FBI Season 2, September 24th. Check it out. See you next time here on Sit Down.